Right guys, it's going to be a video showing you how to easily solo flawless the Master Empire hunt this week, which is the Technocrat, on a hunter. We've already done it on a warlock, so it's going to be a hunter run. This is not going to be a run like last time. This run's going to be more about, if you have a lot of weapons available to you in the game, what is the best route, what is the best character to run this Master Empire hunt on, with the least amount of champions killed. So this isn't about going for platinum, this is about getting your Pinnacle reward as quickly as possible, in a team or solo. You can do these strats in a team. Just know that if you're going to go for the triumph in a team, you need to make sure all your teammates stay alive. If they don't, you're not going to get the triumph. I would say it's better suited to a solo, just because it's in your control at that point. However, if you're in a well-oiled team, you know, with good communication, they don't die, then it's good with a team as well. So with this first room, the stairwell is where you want to stand at, mainly so that the brig and all the enemies can't really hit us. Now Togetherness is on, meaning that there's no health regen. So we have the exotic helmet on, Wormhusk crown. So we put a couple of Anarchy shots on the brig to start with a nade, and then we ran here. Then at that point we're going to take some of the solar shanks, as you saw I did. Then we can deal with that overload. There's two overloads in this room. Now the overloads position themselves the same every time. This game works sort of on patterns. If you stand a certain place, an ad or an enemy generally will act the same each time. So what you'll find is 3 or 4 shanks will hang around one of the overloads. When that overload's killed, kill the rest of the shanks. There'll be a couple more shanks that hang around the second overload, which is round that corner. Happens every time. I've probably done this run 2 or 3 times, and it works every time in terms of this room itself. Now the boss will go into its second phase. As you can see, the boss cannot hit us from here, so that's literally the best place to stand. You don't want to spam too much Anarchy. Anarchy goes far, yes it does, but you still want to be managing your ammo. With this champ, we're not going to Anarchy him because of my power level. I'm quite high. I'm still under level for the activity, but I'm quite high, and Anarchy's probably going to kill the champ before I want to. So we're just going to spam the champ with Scout and a grenade to get a finisher kill, because we've got the seasonal artifact mod on, Spoils of War. You want that on, it's free, like if you've got the season pass of course, free for everyone to just put on. You obviously just need to level up your artifact far enough to get it, to equip it on. Other things, as you saw from the start, I had protective light on, with a stacks on stacks, so charge of light, protective light build type thing. So we've got ×3 there, so that's 3 opportunities to make mistakes in terms of getting hit too much, and it'll save our life. That's why we've got it on. You don't need to utilise like a high energy fire build or anything, because Anarchy will do a lot of your damage anyways. If you don't have Anarchy, which I believe a lot of people don't, then just do this strat but with Xenophage. Do the exact same moves, position yourself exactly same place, instead of, you know, just damage champs with Xenophage, which is equally as good. So now we'll just take out the mines. I wouldn't advise just trying to skip that, but the rest of this run is just going to be optimising what parts you can skip, what parts you can't. As you've seen from that first room, you can't skip it because there's a blue aura. When there's a blue aura blocking a door, you can't do it. These champs you can. Now I specifically Invis just as I got in that room, got a dodge, because I've got Camel's dodge on. Then I re-invis up, do another. So that whole sequence takes 2 smoke bombs to get through. But the key is make sure you're dodging before you leave in that area. Ideally you want to smoke bomb and then dodge straight off the bat. This part you really don't want to be skipping. Well, you can't really, to be honest, because the anti-barrier and the overload need to be killed for the door to open. It's more than likely the shanks need to be killed, the solar shanks, but the solar shanks get tethered by the anti-barrier. It's worth just killing them anyways, okay? To get that door up, to trigger to open. It's not the door in front of us, but it's the next room. So, because we're going to have to deal with champions, we may as well take these shanks. They may drop ammo as well. That's going to help out. The shanks, as you can see, will not push into this room, which is handy. So we can just take them from distance with our scout or our pulse, doesn't really matter. There's no perks on to go against our ammo, so we're fine that way. With that room ahead, what we're doing right here is trying to bait out the Overlord. So there's two champs, as I said. The Overlord champion sometimes will push and sometimes won't, but if you just stand around this area, eventually the Overlord will push you. You have to put a couple of scout rifle shots to bait that champ. Now, as you saw, he did push, but then he retreated, which can happen. The key is just to stand here. If you push to that room, the Overlord's just going to retreat to the anti-barrier. Then you're going to have to tank all that damage. Which we only have, you know, a smoke bomb and an Invis. We don't have, like on a Warlock with a healing rift or something, so we can't tank a ton of damage at once. So you want to separate it up. Once you get a good angle on the Overlord, get the stagger, do 290 shots. If it's Xenophage, do a bit of Xenophage, then swap back to your scout. You can literally just take these champs with a scout only. Okay? The only thing with a hunter is you'd have to invis up halfway through if you're just doing scout, or sort of strafe in and out of cover. So now we actually push into the room. We didn't get Anarchy shots off on the champs, that's fine, we'll redo that. We're hiding behind this cover here so the shanks don't get us. Good time to do a tether, right here. When you get a stun, do a tether, then you can get some of the shanks as well. And that just clears that bit a little bit easier, that's all. That door ahead, as I was saying, that's our second trigger. You've got to clear these champs to get past this bit. Now, we had ammo drop from earlier, so we're going to go back for that, fill back up on max ammo. Then we can advance to the next section. You can skip most of it. There's a couple of champs that are required, but most of the champs can be skipped. Now, another thing that you need is 100% mobility. If you have less than that, you're increasing the chances. I think tier 9's a 14-second cooldown on your dodge, which is just too long. A smoke bomb lasts 7 seconds. Something like that. I think it's around 14 seconds, something like that. But 100% is tier 10 is around 11 seconds, which is what you want. We would use 6 Coyote. The only reason why we're not is because of Wormhusk Crown for Togetherness. We're going to wait for our second smoke bomb here. You need to do 2 here and then wait for your second dodge. Important. Because you need your smoke bomb for the next bit. So all that area is a skip, as you saw. Then we're going to wait here and wait for our dodge to come back. Since we're full health, we're going to invis near the ads first. Don't invis at the door, it messes the timing up. Get to where the servitors are, invis, then do a dodge. One smoke bomb will get you through that area easily enough. Then the boss part. To trigger the boss, just go close-ish, then retreat. On a timer, eventually the shield will go down and you need to take down the shield generator thing when it pops up. Shield generator's up, so we take that. Once we take that, the door ahead will open up and there'll be an overload, a bunch of marauders. So we're going to invis close to them. Sometimes they can spawn on top of you, so just be careful like that. Then we're going to wait for our dodge again. This server doesn't need to be killed either, so we just smoke bomb, dodge, pass through all these. There's not much to this. The purpose of this video mainly is to show people how to easily get the Pinnacle each week, like we used to do with the Nightmare Hunt, where people used to know, oh, it's servitude, you can skip here, there, and everywhere. It's just showing people what the actual skips are for this. So with this part, the Overlord Champion and all the ads do need to be killed, as there's a blue or a door in the back. So what I would advise doing first is take out all the shanks, left and right, double check. There'll be some wretches merely fallen back there. But we're not going to take those, we're just going to, well, we're not going to take those at the minute because they're going to be hiding. But once all the shanks are down, I would advise that's when you take the overload. The overload will just stay on the edge of that platform, which is good in one way, but you tank a bit of damage. So we'll get a stun, do 2 anarchies. Keep spamming scout. We'll do a dodge halfway through, taking a bit of damage. On the second stun we'll re-anarchy up. Just important we melt this overload down. It's the most dangerous one just because of this doorway. We could have went in there and took the champ, you know, with an invis and stuff. Thing is, when you start to go in here, all the wretches collapse on you. So that's why it's still better to take it from the door there. You can use your nade for the wretches, just jump up in the air. Take most of them out. And when you're done with that, just check for any ammo. We got a brick here, so that's good. And on to the last section, there'll be a bunch of solar shanks and snipers. So same again, 2 smoke bombs will do it to get past to the farm boss. Just make sure though when you jump across there you do it instantly, because the shanks are on a timer. As soon as that door opens, the shanks are going to gather up near where you want them to jump to. So make sure you instant time your smoke bombs and what have you. I got sniped in the back while invis, and what happened is the ads despawned before I could get a gambler's dodge off. But that's fine, doesn't matter. If you are low on health like this, just wait for your health to recover before you start the boss fight at least. When you get your health regen, you can then push up. So make sure you got a super for it, which you more than likely will have done. You won't have needed a super for any part apart from that anti-barrier we had earlier. Wait for the boss to spawn in, he's damageable instantly. 2 anarchy shots, 2 or 3, and then just tether. You can do a nade, but he shot my nade out of the midair. But what that does is it takes a third of the boss's HP, it clears out a lot of the ads. We can then loop back round and then to our safe area, which is here. There's a bunch of these areas all around the map. It's just this is where I like to do it from. So if you want to do it on the left side, do it from the left side. It'll work the same. The reason why I like it here is because you have good angles on the shield generators. That's the only reason. We've got an ad spawn here with a lot of solar shanks, vandals, what have you. What you can do if you have plenty of anarchy, you can plant traps on that little platform in front of me where all the ads try to fight you, like here, just to take out some of the marauders and stuff. They are orange bars and pretty tanky. What you'll find as well when you stand here, if you haven't seen my previous video, is that the boss is literally below us, just going to stand there, which is perfect because the boss won't do ice nades. If you get trapped in an ice nade and you're weak, you're generally going to die from it, or you can do. So having him not throw ice nades is handy, and we can also control all the ad spawns. Now the way this works is generally there's an ad spawn each phase, but if you do it like this, there isn't. So we need our second shield transponder. We're going to do it with Anarchy. We're not going to wander around the map at all. If you start wandering around the map, you're going to get an ad spawn. There are wretches at the back, but not counting those. If you start wandering around the map for ammo, you're going to get solar shanks, vandals, marauders again. You're going to get the same spawn as I got before. So try not to do that. Also, you can farm up grenade energy off him by doing a smoke bomb dodge, smoke bomb dodge on the ledge, just to get more damage in. So the boss is half health. Now to the next phase. Again, there's no ads. Reason being is because we're up here. Stops the ads from spawning. So this video, like I said, it's not a challenge video. It's not saying, oh look at this. It's more just to show people how to easy do it on Hunter. Just to come on and get it done. And like I said, you can do this with Xenophage. If you haven't got Anarchy, do Xenophage. If you haven't got Xenophage, then your options are limited, because a lot of the exotic heavies are lacking. I don't know whether it's because Anarchy and Xenophage are far ahead, or just because they're super bad. because once you start bringing all these other exotics into endgame content, like Sleeper Simulant, it's terrible for like ammo economy and stuff. It does decent burst damage, but it's terrible for ammo economy. A lot of the exotic heavies in this game need a buff, but it's just how it's gonna be until something changes. Swords are in a great spot, but in terms of ranged heavy, rockets, they've needed a buff for the longest time. But it is what it is. So we're on the final phase. We were going to wait on a super, which I advise that you probably do, because what can happen on the last phase, the final boss will go to middle. We can use Anarchy to take the shield generators down, but on the final DPS phase, because we're wandering around the map, there's a chance that adds are going to spawn in. Not these adds, but as in Shanks, Marauders and all that stuff. That can be quite dangerous when you're doing your last phase of damage. If that did happen, I could tether down the boss and get the easy kill. But I just ended up going for the rush kill and just going in there. There was a Marauder there, so that Marauder might have been up from previous though, I believe. But at this point we're just invising ourselves up, Anarchy and running away. And we'll re-Anarchy up, and then that's pretty much done deal with that. Like I said, this video is just showing you all the skips, what's the actual best, easiest setup for anyone to do this. You can do this setup, as I said, same with a Hunter, Nightstalker, Wormhusk Crown, double primary, Xenophage if you haven't got Anarchy. It'll work pretty much the same way. Hope you enjoyed, thank you.